Hello, what's up, guys? Mark Saint here for one more Monday night Monday night, even forgot, Monday Night Live. That's what I always say. Sorry, things are very busy here. I'm just stopping to work with you guys to talk a little bit more. Okay, it's working. Perfect. I always need this confirmation. So how are you doing? It's a pleasure to be here every Mondays and Fridays at 6:30 Brasilia time for us to talk about Brazil and everything that involves this beautiful country of Brazil, right? My name is Mark Saint. If you're seeing me for the first time, welcome. We have this community of foreigners who love Brazil and who get together every Mondays and Fridays to exchange information about the country, discuss, give suggestions, comment on the content that we produce around here. Today we had a brand new fresh video on the channel at 4 p.m. Brasilia time, as I always promise. The video was there, kickstarting a new phase on the channel. We're going to be discussing a little bit about this throughout the live stream, may God allow. And guys, Wednesday we're going to have another video, may God allow, and Friday as well. But I'm also posting a lot of shorts from the old videos that I have already posted. So if you guys haven't seen everything and you want some suggestions of videos for you to watch, keep an eye on the shorts of this channel, because I will be posting extracts from the old videos so that we can grow the numbers here on the channel. We can bring new people for this BU Nation, this nation that follows and that grows here on the channel. And also we can give you suggestions on what to watch here on the channel. I also say go and binge watch everything we have produced so far. There might be one or two videos or a couple that you might enjoy, and that might be exactly what you were looking for in terms of the content that involves Brazil, right? So if you guys are here with me already, remember to smash the like button. Very important that you help the channel with this. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel in case you haven't. It's very important that you do that. I also have, and I forgot to, I was supposed to put this information in the description of the lives. I'm gonna be doing this soon. But I also have two other channels. Now it's two. I have one for Brazilian Portuguese. If you guys are interested in learning the Brazilian Portuguese with me, go ahead, send me a direct message on Instagram, and I can present the methodology created by myself, the books created by myself, and you're going to learn the Portuguese in a way that you could never imagine before. No grammar, no focus on grammar things, on grammar nomenclature, just the language, and you're going to learn in 17 months. All right? I also have another channel that I will start using very soon. The name is Brazilian Market with Mark Saint. I know I tried something more creative, but all the names were taken. At least the most common names were taken, so I had to put this. So guys, I'm going to leave the links there so that you guys can help me with the numbers. help me by subscribing to them, okay? Let me just find them here. And then I promise I'll put all the information in the info of the lives and the videos that I make. In the meantime, if you have a question, if you want to say hello, please step up and do it. Very important that I don't talk to the moon here or to myself, right? 1 second. Just found the first channel, the one about the Brazilian Portuguese. I'm going to post for you guys. All the chat is here. Boa noite, Charles. Tudo bem, meu amigo? Feliz segunda, Mark. I sub to the market channel. Cool idea. Thank you, Hillbilly. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for helping me with these things. It means the world. It means the world. I'm going to gradually start transferring these videos about investments to that channel, but please don't give up in any. Don't give up on the Portuguese. Don't give up on this one, because one thing complements the other. You like the Brazilian culture, follow us here. You like the language, go and study Brazilian Portuguese with me on the other channel. Oh, but I want to invest as well, Mark. So you go to the third channel, the tertiary channel, and you will have content about everything that concerns investment. Best tips, finances, interviews with people that are involved in the market. It's going to be amazing. I just need to clone myself to be able to keep up with everything. But anyways, let's go. Que é, chata? Eita. The cat keeps crying until I put her inside the room. Vai lá, deita lá. Vai. Ta-da-da. Okay. Show chat. Thank you, Charles. Thank you for the support. So I'm gonna post the Brazilian Portuguese link there, and the other one, which is Brazilian Market with Mark Saint. Did you guys have the opportunity to see this new video that I posted today? Did you guys see the condo? Incredible, just incredible. Nice view. I talked to the owner and I said, what is it like to spend the Christmas and New Year day here? And he said, oh, it's amazing. It's just amazing. The point is, his wife is getting old, and so is he. So they don't want to do the traveling all the time from São Paulo to the coastal area. So that's why he's selling. But he said, oh, I've had great times here. Lots of fireworks in the New Year night. It's amazing. You can see everything from the apartment. Okay, so the second link is there for you guys to subscribe and help me grow the numbers. How are you guys doing? Charles, how you doing? How you doing, Hillbilly? What have you been seeing about Brazil? Let me know. I want to discuss with you guys about the country. The whole weekend, right? Saturday and Sunday I was downtown because we had something called Virada Cultural. I think I mentioned this last time we met, which is a 24-hour event in São Paulo with cultural activities everywhere. So all the museums, all the art galleries, all the cinema, not all the cinemas, right? Because the cinemas needed to be public. And we don't have that. We just have a Espaço Itaú de Cinema, which is supported by the bank Itaú, and some other places that allow activities to take place for free for the population, and also many concert stages where the bands played on the weekend. So there were events at 3 o'clock in the morning. Of course, I was not there because I have a family, but I was in the other ones. I stayed out on Saturday until 10, about 11, something like this, 10 or 11. I saw half of a movie for free, a Brazilian movie, because Manu was kind of sick. But on Sunday, we explored the downtown area. It had been a while since I was there. And we visited many places that where the things were taking, they were taking place. The cultural activities were happening. So it was amazing. There was a cavaquinho presentation. Cavaquinho, by the way, I don't know the name of that in English. Cavaquinho. I don't know if there's a similar. It's a small guitar, okay, that is used for Brazilian music, for MPB, more for samba, or for a style called chorinho, which is very Brazilian, right? So we saw a presentation of that. We also saw piano, everything for free. It was very good. Not to mention the art galleries that were open, so many other things. It was fantastic. Of course, I filmed. I made a walking vlog with my wife and Manu. And you guys will be seeing this week, hopefully on Friday afternoon. You guys will be able to watch this and see how São Paulo is cultural. Just love this city, man. So many things to do. Pagode in southern Brazil? Interesting. I wonder where. 10-year Brazilian view after like 4 photo attempts. They want you to use this tool they give you, otherwise not so bad. Yeah, I don't know what happens. I've heard other people complain about the process. Some people said, "Oh, it was at the first attempt was great. I was able to go through it and receive the email with the visa." Some other people say it's been 4 days, it's been 5 days, nothing. So that's weird. I don't know if it's the number of people trying is too big. I don't know. Yeah, I wish you guys didn't have to keep trying to take the photos. It would be at the first attempt. It would have been better. But very happy for you. And yours is also a 10-year visa, Charles. Yeah, I haven't been following the news. Actually, sometimes I get so tied up with the business here that today, for example, I was impressed when I looked and outside and it was dark because I almost missed an appointment. I had a class with a student and it was like 6 minutes past the hour. The guy sent me a message. Oh my God, we have a class because things are so busy, so hectic that I almost missed it. So I didn't see anything, but yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what's gonna happen with the BRICS. Let's see. Let's see how solid this structure is, and their attempts to build something big is. Oh yeah, so I've heard it's Memorial Day. Is that correct? I think it's Memorial Day. Rio Grande do Sul. Look, I don't feel surprised. I'm not surprised that they have pagode there. I mean, it's a Brazilian style. You can find this everywhere. Even with the cultures that are more Germanic or German, right? German descent. Oh, Memorial Day, yes. Okay. So you will find pagode anywhere in Brazil. Of course, there are places that live, breathe, and eat pagode, eat this samba styles, right? Rio, São Paulo, everywhere you go, you'll find this a lot. Some others not so common, but they exist. Let's see what's going on in Brazil, guys. I haven't seen the news today. Oh, apparently Ancelotti is already in Brazil. Carlo Ancelotti. And he hasn't called Neymar for the national team. Neymar is going through a lot, you know. Ancelotti's coming. Let's see what's gonna happen. Holiday pay. Yeah, this guy's amazing. Oh, Charles. This guy's amazing. Let me just see if I have anything interesting to comment here. So far, nothing. Just soccer. I was very impressed with the number of people that attended the Virada Cultural, the cultural event. Incredible. So many people. And I heard a lot of languages on the street. A lot of languages. Just to prove that São Paulo is definitely on the spot of the tourists nowadays. They're coming in numbers. That's fantastic. There was a language that I couldn't recognize. I told my wife, I don't know if it's Polish. I really don't know. The guy was speaking so differently that I had no idea. Something in the Eastern Europe, you know. And wow, the concerts were full, especially the Ayangabaú area, you know, super full. Let's change the media because this one sucks. There's nothing interesting. Wow, yes, look, the temperatures are dropping. Very interesting news for you guys who are planning to visit São Paulo, Brazil in general. So it says here that they have registered they have INMET, which is like an agency that measures the temperature here, has sent a warning that the temperatures are gonna drop, and starting by Wednesday, and we're gonna have the minimum temperature lower than 10 degrees Celsius, which is in Fahrenheit is, let me see, Celsius to Fahrenheit. In Fahrenheit is 50. You know, for Brazilians, this is really cold. Lower than that's very, very cold for us, you know. Translate to English. No intertravel for me. Slavic languages, maybe, buddy, maybe. Because it was a very different language. I look at him, he looked like Polish or something. But it's funny because that just shows that Brazil is having more and more I mean, São Paulo is having more and more tourists, which in the past was not so common because people always said that the city only offered a business tour. So people would come here to do business, but that's not the point anymore. People are really coming to enjoy the city. Look at that. A cold front will drop temperatures in the center south a region of Brazil in the look. I'm reading from the translation of the site. I don't know if everything's correct here. And it should prevail until the first days of June. São Paulo, Curitiba, Porto Alegre, and Campo Grande we have minimum temperatures below 10 degrees Celsius during this period, which is 50 Fahrenheit. Very cold. The National Institute of Meteorology, or INMET, has issued 2 danger warnings for falling temperatures as the forecast points to a decrease of up to 5 degrees in states in the center south. That the data is from the INMET's Alert AS virtual center, blah blah blah. The first warning is valid for the period of May 28th and 29th in Rio Grande do Sul, Santa Catarina, Paraná, part of São Paulo, Mato Grosso do Sul, Mato Grosso e Rondônia. The second warning covers the period of May 29th to 30th in parts of São Paulo, again, Rio de Janeiro, Minas, Goiás, Mato... Yeah, now we're approaching the winter here in São Paulo, in Brazil, right? So you're gonna get some cold temperature. Funny to say, because last year I don't remember cold temperatures, even in the winter. It was a very strange period for us because it was very dry but not cold. And now it says that we're gonna have cold days. I'm actually feeling the cold, actually, guys, because today is kind of chilly. I had to close the window here. And yes, that's true, Charles. 5 degrees 41, 10 degrees 50. So the next few days will be cold. What I don't like about the winter, I'm gonna be honest with you, is my daughter gets sick a lot. So we're always trying to give her vitamins and stuff, but she has cyanosis, so it affects her a lot, and that's what happened on Saturday. We had to cut the movie short at the cinema because she was not feeling okay, so that sucks. Let's see another piece of report here. If you guys have any questions, shoot, okay? They're talking about the IOF, which is the tax for transactions abroad. And people are criticizing the government a lot for this. Of course, man. The guy is establishing vitamin D3. Thank you, buddy. The guys are establishing another tax. We have so many already. So even though it's not what they want, I think they wanted 3 point something percent. It's gonna be 1 point something percent, but it's still damaging some of our transactions, are screwing with some of our transactions. I myself buy things from abroad, especially books, and I'm gonna have to pay a higher IOF and transfer this because it's for my school, Can you imagine? And I have to readjust the price of the books. That sucks. Oh, by the way, I just remember I have to buy a new book. Make sure you guys subscribe to the new channel, okay? The one about Brazilian market, for me to be posting the new videos about properties and investment and stuff. Because I know it's not cool for everyone, right? You guys are looking for everything Brazil, but not investment, and then a video about investment pops up. So I want to separate things, So help me with the numbers just. And bye. For payment, okay. You're Polish American, hillbilly. That's a good question. Let me check if Polish people need visas, because it's European Union, no? I don't think you guys need a visa. Let me check right now. No, you guys don't need visas. You can come straight to Brazil without having to ask for one. Let me see the entire European Union. Now, yeah, the European Union citizens don't need a visa to get in Brazil, be that for tour or for business, for a period of 90 days. Okay? 90 days. Hello, Tisha. How are you? How are things? Good to see you here. Hello, Garvar. Is everything okay? Have a 90 days visa. Yes, EU. They don't need your request, okay? It's very important to say that because I think Brazilians still don't need visa to go to the European Union. I know that my comparison doesn't apply nowadays because I went to Europe in 2009. So I didn't need a visa, not even for England. I think England still doesn't request visas from Brazilians. But you run the risk of flying all the way there, get rejected, put back on the plane, and fly all the way back. So it's a headache, in my opinion. But yes, you can enter the European Union. I think maybe nowadays what is different is that you need to print a kind of it's called ESTA, if I'm not mistaken, ESTA. You have to print something, fill in, and travel with that. But that's all. European Union people still can come to Brazil with no problems. Can extend to 180 days, yes. So they only did this new requirement for USA, Australia, and Canada. Exactly. Yes, because let's just review what happened there. Um, President Bolsonaro, when he took over, he decided to exempt Americans and Canadians and Australians from the visa, so it would be easier for these nationals to come to Brazil. On the explanation that this would bring more money to Brazil, it would increase the number of visitors to the country. And this happened, just to remind you guys, before the pandemic, okay? Not during the pandemic. So the visa exemption was valid for a year before the pandemic came. And during this year and a half, almost 2 years, I guess, they had the time period to examine and check if this had in fact brought new visitors from the United States, from Canada, and from England, and from Australia. And as far as I remember, the report said that the number of visitors from the United States continued the same. So not having to get a visa didn't change anything in terms of visitors from the United States. So this was one argument that the Congress was using against Bolsonaro at the time, because they said, look, Americans don't see Brazil as one of the hot spots in the world, one of the biggest destinations. They will keep coming here in the same number that they always did. I don't think the visa is the problem. But I don't know, because we need to check the new numbers. I'm talking about a period before the pandemic. Because I have read some other reports that said that nowadays Americans are coming to Brazil more often than before. And this happened also during the exemption, like last year. And nowadays they just lose for the Argentinians. So maybe things have changed. I think the visa exemption really motivated Americans to come to Brazil in numbers. I believe that. As I told you, I was filming a walking vlog on Friday. I think 2 Fridays ago. It was a night walking vlog, and came across a group of Americans on Paulista Avenue, Avenida Paulista. So it's more common nowadays to walk around and see people from abroad, especially United States. So, you know. But the other people also have to take a visa because this president bases, or not this president, not only him, but also his ministries, especially the foreign relations, they base the foreign policy on reciprocity. So we will treat you guys the way Brazilians are treated in your country. Basically, that's the idea. But that's not exactly what happens, okay? Because even with the visa, you have a very simplified procedure for you to acquire um, a visa. And I'm not judging, I'm not even starting this conversation because I know the conditions are different. I know you guys have to be harder because the number of Brazilians wanting to go to the United States is much bigger than the number of Americans coming to Brazil. We all know that story. We are way past this conversation. So yeah, the European Union can extend to 180 days, and also the Americans and the Canadians and the Australians and the Japanese. But the Japanese nowadays don't need visas anymore because of a bilateral negotiation between President Lula's government and the government of Japan. So I think you remember when I started making videos about the requirements, uh, Japan was on the list. It's not anymore. Yeah, you see, Brazil, Garvar is saying Brazil, 90 days stay and you can extend to 180. Same thing. Oh, I'm gonna watch the Ancelotti conference. I was so busy during the day, I just didn't have time to check that. That sucks. Just sucks. I wanna take a look at it. Very nice. They made a big event to, of course, to announce him. Carlo Ancelotti, seleção brasileira. Oh, very beautiful backstage. Fantastic. And to see him in the middle leading the, oh my God, I'm getting excited. Very good. So about that England thing, it's a new thing then, right? Everyone has to apply because when I went to England, I didn't need. I just went straight to England and I was, of course, interviewed there on right on the spot and gave my information. They let me pass, but nowadays things might have been completely different. I kind of saw something on YouTube. Brazilians who live in the UK said, "Oh, things are changing here. We're gonna have this," but I didn't go deep in the story. So, but I will check later. Yeah, I agree with you, Charles. I think the numbers would have happened, would have maybe jacked up had the pandemic not happened. I totally agree with you on this, which is very good. I think the 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 connection between the peoples are very important, right? If we have more Americans visiting Brazil, we kind of demystify a lot of beliefs that Americans have about the country. Nowadays, less than before, but it's very good for opening the minds of the population and see that Brazil is not everything that people paint, in their stories. That's a horrible place controlled by gangs. You need to be careful with this kind of information because you might be manipulated by the media. It happens, of course, but it's not like people think. I have an uncle, for example, who watches some, those shows on TV, those news reports that only focus on violence. So if there is a fight between, like an argument between a husband and a wife, and the guy punches her, so it's gonna be news there. And then if something happens between neighbors, it's gonna be news there. So he watches this kind of things, and he gets very, very afraid of going out of the house. That's not good, especially for the elderly. And then I remember when I made a video, a bike vlog, uh, pedaling at night, crossing the city of São Paulo with two friends and cameras and stuff. First thing he said, "Wow, you're very brave to do that at night. I would be afraid." Jesus Christ. Never suffered anything, thank God, while pedaling, while walking at night. That doesn't mean violence is inexistent or crime is inexistent. Of course, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's not as people say it is, you know. So I think it's very important not to have the visa, to increase the number of visitors, for people to learn more about Brazil than only people portray on television and these ads, right? Yeah, this is a possibility, but this has always existed, right, Charles? I don't think this is something new. I myself, for example, I have students that take Brazilian Portuguese lessons with me because they have a relationship with girls, with guys. So they have classes with me because they are in a relationship with someone from Brazil, and they need to speak the language as well. Not only those people speaking English, and that's very nice of them to think like this, because they will eventually meet the family. You know how it works, right? So they're taking lessons, right? Hello, Teos. How are you, man? A lot of misinformation have been posted on YouTube by vloggers and the media about Brazil. Yeah, I don't know exactly what misinformation you're mentioning, but I see a lot as well. I agree with you. I think one of my objectives here with this channel is to show you it's not that bad, right? I mean, if I stop and I read the bad news, I will find it. That's for sure. That's for sure. Oh, a guy that was robbed on Paulista Avenue, or he was stolen because he was taking a picture and a biker passed and grabbed the phone. It happens. It happens. But it's not exactly as people think. Um, the way people say it is, I would think that I would never go to the streets, or as I have already said here before, I would go with a rifle in my hand. Can we go? Yes, let's go to the supermarket. Okay, I'll cover you. Go, 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 go. So come on, man. It's not exactly like this, right? I'll watch your back. Go. So we have problems, but you need to know where you go, what time you go, right? It's not. This is not Tokyo, Japan, that you can forget something and when you come back, the cell phone will be there. Or because I repeat, criminals they search for opportunities. If you give them an opportunity, you're done. Don't give them an opportunity. Be careful with your cell phone, right? Uh, Remember, look, when I make my vlogs, I walk with this attached to my backpack. I have created a device for me to put the camera here, right? Why? Because I thought with a gimbal, people, I don't know, people kind of they they are in the defensive when they see the cameras. They don't act normally. So I have already made a few vlogs with a gimbal, pointing the camera and everything. First, some people are very shy. They don't like to be filmed. So what I do is, when I have the camera here, it's a very small camera, black, So I normally have my backpack is black. It has a black strip, or I have a darker t-shirt. So it kind of gets invisible. This is the best part. The camera gets invisible, so I cover that red light that keeps showing that the camera is recording. I put a black tape here, and I put it here, right? So I walk normally. People don't realize they are being filmed. Even if they see the camera, they have the doubt that the camera is really working, because I turn off the front camera because I have the possibility to do that. This is a GoPro 10. I turn off the front camera, and nobody's gonna see the back of the camera because it's pretty close to my shoulder. I walk naturally, right? And I use my cell phone sometimes with the other hand, because I'm checking Google Maps to see interesting things while I'm filming the vlogs. So I end up filming the most natural reactions of people, which is what I wanna show you guys with the vlogs. I want you guys to feel as if you were in the country, as if you were there walking with me. You know, so sometimes the camera gets very close to people and they don't even realize. But I'm always worried. I'm always, not worried, but I'm always aware of my surroundings, because I use the cell phone and to make videos of myself as the camera is attached here with a nut and a screw, because I put here. I end up using a second camera, a second GoPro that everybody sees. So I'm showing, hey guys, blah blah blah, and then I point because I want to make a different position of the camera. So, but I'm always paying attention to my surroundings. It's very important. But it's not like people portray. If you guys saw the video, the night video, you saw that I would walk normally, calmly. Was among so many people on the streets of all ages. When I go biking around the city, I see the elderly in groups pedaling like 11:30 at night. Lots of police officers. So just love the city. Went to Natal. Yeah, I wanna visit Natal, Charles. I haven't been there yet, man. Pretty soon, may God allow. But I have heard great things about Rio Grande do Norte, the state where Natal is located, guys. Brazil needs to reduce import taxes on things you don't make, like electronics or whatever. Separately, I hope Brazil and USA can make a deal with exports and imports. It would be huge. Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. And there's this identity thing that Brazil has with the United States, you know? That I just wished our relations were easier. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes the Brazilian diplomacy feels that it's being left aside in terms of agreement. Sometimes the United States thinks it's not interesting for them. But that's why sometimes the government of Brazil aligns with the other nations. First, because he believes in multilateralism. He believes in multipolar international system. So, but at the same time, I wanted things to be easier in terms of cooperation, right? But I haven't gone deep on this subject because I don't know exactly what we're doing wrong as well. We have to see this. I cannot only talk about my side and not see, for example, if we're charging too much of you guys, you know? Because the guys are rich. I know the United States has foot the bill in many cases because the guys are rich, we're not. Okay, so the Americans accepted. It's not like this anymore, you know? I think it's a relationship of equals. I don't know. Of course, if the US wants to help in another thing that is not trading, okay. But trading is equals. Yeah. But you know why they steal cell phones, right? Maybe you haven't seen why. the point here. They steal cell phones because we're talking about organized crime, okay? These guys steal the cell phones to to access the banks. Do you know in the past we had bank robberies a lot? We don't have that anymore. We don't hear gangs breaking into banks to rob money. It doesn't happen anymore because everybody has a bank nowadays inside their pockets. So people steal, or these criminals steal the cell phone to access the banking accounts. Of course, they use the cell phone as a trading product, but most of them, I don't know if you know this, most of them are put together and they are exported. So what criminals do is they try to go out of Brazil through the airports and stuff, carrying these many cell phones that have been robbed to sell in Africa, Asia, other places, you know? I'm telling you this because I have seen many police investigations that ended up in this conclusion. People, it's like mules, right? Mules are not only for drugs but also for bringing robbed things to other countries. So they do that a lot. But the main focus is accessing the banking accounts of the people, the owners of the cell phone, you know? Yeah, be careful when when you are in Rio, in São Paulo. Don't, you know, just look around. That's very important. Look around. Beware of bicyclists, you know, because they use the bike because it's faster to escape, right? But look, guys, funny thing, I don't know, I haven't seen the numbers of Virada Cultural. I was talking to a friend here before the starting the live stream here. So many cops I have seen. So many cops everywhere. So this kind of inhibits the action of these criminals because they see, wow, if I try to catch a cell phone here, there's a police car right there. He's gonna arrest me. He's gonna bust me. So this is very important, and I think the government is doing a great job in this on this matter. I've already told you every time I go to Praça da Sé, or the ground zero of São Paulo, it's an area full of homeless people, right? And you have some junkies as well. But there's so many police officers nowadays, guys. It's kind of very hard for these guys to commit crimes or any other criminals or any criminals. I'm not saying every homeless criminal. For Christ's sake, I didn't say that. But I'm saying like it's hard for criminals who are there waiting for an opportunity to commit a crime because the place is surrounded basically. So they need to keep doing this kind of things. And this is something I like because the government has put a police base right in the core of the square. Amazing. Yeah, and Lula likes drinks. So have I been told, okay? Yeah, well, I don't think Trump is gonna end up meeting with Lula. I don't think so. I think they have very different opinions. And I'm not sure Lula would be interested, right? Especially taking into consideration the last few authorities' visits to the White House. I'm not sure. Like the South African president, for example. Yeah, so Hillbilly's agreeing with me that in more things, yeah, equality is the secret. because you guys you cannot feel that you've been double crossed or taken advantage of. I don't think just because you have money. You have money because you built this life that you guys have. So, okay. So it's up for Brazil to find their way as well. And that's why I tell my American friends, don't criticize Brazil for trying to find its own path through evolution, you know? That's what Brazil is trying to do. Okay, if things are not working with the US, right. Look at the size of the world. We have so many other countries that we could do business with. It's very important. But look, Brazil keeps negotiating with the United States. It's, if I'm not mistaken, the second most important partner. Okay? Yeah, I know that. There are lots of Americans who aren't rich. No, but when I mentioned wealth, I was talking about the government, you know? I was comparing Brazil and the United States. But Brazil is not poor either. I don't know why people insist on saying that Brazil is a poor country. It's not a poor country. The wealth is very ill distributed. That's all. That's all. But it's not a poor country at all. You know, look at our GDP, over $3 trillion, if I'm not mistaken. It's not a poor country. Okay. I think we can do better, but then we have to change all the production. This is something that has been discussed in the universities for years here, for decades. Change what we produce, not only raw material, you know? Because basically what Brazil does, Brazil exports minerals for the production of technology, and then we buy the technology very expensive. That's stupid. Get a burner phone, exactly. I agree. Nowadays, some Paulistas and maybe Cariocas are going out of their houses with a fake phone or one that has no banking, right? For example, if I decide one day to film with a camera from my cell phone, I will do that because having all the banks in one cell phone is stupid. I go out with mine that has it's a Samsung. This one here. He has all my banks are here, all my investments. So I'm crazy sometimes because, but then again, it's not that bad, you know, because the city is really big. It's not everywhere that you have these problems. So I go out with this normally, use it inside the Uber, the taxi, on the bus, on the I don't use the bus, but the subway, no problems. But I need to be careful because when you are most comfortable, that's when things happen, you know? Yeah, I agree, Charles. I'm reading up your comment about the lithium batteries. Yeah, but so I think you guys are correct. Like we're discussing here is problems exist. Not gonna lie to you. There are problems. Not as many as people say, but there are so many good things, and this is what I focus on. That should not, you guys should not be stopped from visiting. Oh, Charles, for example, comes to Brazil as often as he can. Not only him, but also his friends that are my friends as well. Kevin, Neil, Jonathan, all these guys are from the United States, from New York, for example. And they are coming, if I'm not mistaken, next month again, Neil and Jonathan. So they're always here. They love the country. They have been to Bahia. Bahia is dangerous, depending on where you go. Salvador, I think, if you look at the numbers of Salvador and compare to São Paulo is the safest city in Brazil, okay, guys? I'm not saying that because I'm a Paulista, no. It's the numbers. Just do your thing. Check, and you see São Paulo is the safest city in Brazil in relative numbers. Because we have a very good police, because we're always paying attention to this kind of things. Still, people suffer from this kind of problems. People are robbed, people are stolen, as any other big city, right? Like New York, for example. And these guys, oh Charles, I'm reading about what you're saying, the event of a friend being stolen in Lapa. And these guys are so fast and skilled to snatch your cell phone. So you gotta be careful, and you won't get him. Once they are on a bike, you won't get them. Forget it. Yeah, I agree. Tails, I'm reading your comment here. Tails, it doesn't mean that Rio isn't safe, right? Rio is big. And I always say, guys, look how many people enjoy. While some people are afraid of leaving their countries to come to Brazil, there are so many foreigners that are in love with this place. And I try to focus on you guys because you guys are part of this number. You guys who have discovered the truth. Remember, my favorite phrase of all is, I was blind, but now I see. That's fantastic. You guys are not blind anymore. You know what Brazil is all about. You know, you come here and you have the time of your lives. That's what we have to focus on, you know. That's what I believe, you know. See how many tourists come to Brazil and they have the time of their lives. The bohemian neighborhoods. Oh my God, I'm from Brazil, but when I go to Rio, look, I even sigh it. I just feel like living there. First time I went to Rio, I was so baffled by the beauty of that city. I just wanted to live there. Because cariocas know how to live, you know. They love music. The guy I was watching last night playing the piano, if you follow my Instagram, you saw, he's from Rio. He's a Paulista citizen now because he chose São Paulo to live, so he left Rio to live in São Paulo. But he's carioca. He's Jorge Benjor's friend. He's Tim Maia's friend. If you guys know the Brazilian music, you know these guys were monsters. Jorge Benjor is a monster. Tremendous musician. And this guy is a friend of all this selected roster of musicians. They have music in their souls. They know how to play well. They enjoy the beach. You know, living at the beach that has this harmony, this energy. Rio de Janeiro is incredible. We have bad people, yes, but we have a lot of good people, a lot of good families, you know. The goal is at least for U.S. trade diplomats to reach out with Brazil. Yeah, I agree. I stayed there once, want to find a liquor store to buy cachaça around 4:30. You said that you notice a difference on your walk. What do you mean? I'm receiving the comments later than I spoke. Okay, so I don't remember what I was saying. Not enough cops in Vila Madalena. Like never saw any there. I've seen in many neighborhoods lots of police downtown though. Maybe because they separate the police officers, Hillbilly, for the areas that have more criminality. Vila Madalena, maybe in relative numbers, is not as dangerous as, let's say, the downtown area, you know? So that's why the police will be focused on areas that have more incidents, more cases, like Avenida Paulista, maybe. Because I have seen so many police officers there. And some people say, because there was an event in São Paulo. No, but when I filmed the walking vlog, it was not even a touristic weekend. I heard tourists there, but it was a normal weekend. Normal Thursday, guys. Not even weekend. Charles, you said that it stays on Sul if you want to party in Lapa, but I think you're talking about Rio and Hillbilly is talking about São Paulo. Slice of Sabi, wow, how are you, man? This is a great guy that I met from Canada and gently invited me to visit him in Rio, and we had a blast there. It was very nice. We had a couple of drinks, talked. It was amazing. Very good. How are you doing, man? What part of the world are you in right now? I will check what you're saying, Charles. Let me see here. Oh, so he was filmed when the gun was robbed. Okay. Yeah, you gotta be careful,
We got robbed in Rio. This
especially
is not
people
clickbait.
with
It really
bicycles. It
happened,
sucks.
and we're
I really
very
hate
embarrassed about it.
my job
This
here
is the
is
exact moment that it
my
happened. Why are we
goodness.
sharing
And you
this?
have the face
Well,
of the guy. Probably they went to the police, no? You have to be careful. Definitely. Oh, what Slice of Sabi is saying, bro, I love the Rio. I will move there at a blink of an eye. It's amazing. There are problems like anywhere. Hi, Josh. How are you, man? And Brazil is more than just Rio and São Paulo, obviously. Definitely, definitely. Another focus on my channel is to show that to people. I'm from São Paulo, but I am the first one to say, do not only come here. São Paulo is being discovered now because all the attention was just focused to Rio all the time. But now São Paulo is getting its place under the sun. But I still tell people, have you ever heard of Chapada dos Guimarães? Have you ever heard of Bonito, which is a city in Mato Grosso do Sul, if I'm not mistaken? Amazing, amazing. Just go check it out. Brazil has the kind of tour for every taste. Oh, I want to go for ecotourism. You find places. Oh, I want to go to meet girls. Find places. Meet guys. You find places. Oh, I want to go sports. You find places. Everything. Samba. You know, it's incredible. Just incredible. The Amazon forest, yeah, I've heard of that. I wonder how this tour for the Amazon forest works, Josh. I think it would be interesting to visit the forest, no? Because even the Brazilians don't have access. There are Brazilians who are born and grow and die and will never visit the forest. I myself have never been to Amazonas. I'd like to go there, to Manaus. And I have a hope and a dream that with this channel, I'll be able to travel the whole country and document everything for you guys. Everything. I want to show the whole country. But I have many plans, not only walking around. I'm going to start stopping at places, trying the food, showing you guys, talking about the spices, talking about the snacks. Even in São Paulo, I'll start stopping at places and showing you guys the cuisine. It's very, very important because it's part of our culture as well. Ponta Negra. I was talking about lá pra favela, I think. Was the same thing when I was in São Paulo for 1 week. I stayed on Avenida Paulista and Bella Vista, my friend, the name. Bella Vista, which means beautiful view. There were police cars at every intersection daily. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's what I want to tell people. Why? Because the government is trying to give a response to criminality. Okay, we have this problem. Let's address the problem. Let's try to solve it. You know? You're in Spain. You're so chic, man. Seriously. You're so chic. Incredible. So classy. Traveling the world. Lapa's a district. Yeah, it is a district. Lapa, there's the word Lapa in many states of Brazil, actually. There is a Lapa in São Paulo. There's a Lapa in Minas Gerais, if I'm not mistaken. In Rio. But of course he was talking about the Rio one. Yes, I would say there is something to do with the tourists, but also the population, because the population have complained a lot about having their phones robbed or stolen on Paulista Avenue. So I think it's an answer, right? Remember, this is not Rio that receives millions of thousands of hundreds of thousands of tourists all the time, you know? We do have tourists, but not in this number. É Rocinha. Lapa is the night district. Exactly, Josh. You have a very important point here. Most Brazilians live close to the coast. That is not saying that the rest of the country is uninhabitable, like Canada, for example, that everybody lives close to the border because the rest is pure ice or very cold. No, it's just easier, right? I think the cities closer to the beach have developed faster. If you think São Paulo, for instance, or Rio, because of the industry, because of the cargoes, because of the ports, you know. So yes, Pantanal is a very nice touristic spot. You'll be able to see toucans and all this kind of animals that are very, very incredible species of all colors. I've seen canaries through videos. Too bad I haven't been able to go there. And also some very wild animals like serpents and stuff. And jaguars. I don't know if jaguar is the name. Leopards, you know. So that's the point. The Brazil is a tremendous diversity. So people take this and believe everywhere is like this. So okay, São Paulo, you guys have a lot of forests. No, we don't. We have a lot of towers, you know. Oh, Rio is like this. Oh, Rio is the mix of both, right? The nature and the city. Cataratas do Iguaçu, Garvar. Thank you very much. Forgot to mention that. Cataratas do Iguaçu, which is in Paraná, border with Argentina, Paraguay, you know. Yes, Josh, another important point. It's very hard to settle and it's far from everything. Right? Imagine the Cerrado, which is basically dry land. It's hard, man. I was watching, thanks to Virada Cultural, I was watching a movie called O Alto da Compadecida, which is a classic for us, a very good movie. But the number two, there are two movies. And it shows the Northeast. Actually, I saw a lot of things from the Northeast in this, in the exhibits of Saturday night. And the movie, at least the beginning of the movie, showed how hard it is for the Brazilians of the Northeast to live in the Cerrado, you know, because it's a desertic area. The story, the guy said, oh, it hasn't rained for 6 years. Imagine. Okay, it's a movie, right? But I think it has happened. being in a place that doesn't rain for a whole 2 years. Can you imagine? So it's very hard. People tend to go to the big cities closer to the ocean because everything is easier. But that also means there are so many untapped places in the country. You know, you can go cave diving, you can go explore cascades and ponds and lakes and rivers that are out of this world, you know. The quality of the water, the fauna, the animal species are incredible. I can imagine going down Amazonas in boats is just out of this world. Yes. I think these are the things that should be in our bucket lists, you know? At least mine it is. Because you hear the forest, you hear the animals, you hear the calmness, the peace of being in a very remote area with very few human beings. Amazing. Fantastic. Yes, Australia. Australia also has something to do with the temperatures and the because I think the nucleum of the island, if I'm not mistaken, is deserted, right? It's really hot, so it has a lot of dangerous animals as well. In Brazil, you have more vegetation. You have some arid areas, of course, in the northeast, but in central, you have more vegetation as well. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know much about Amapá. I really need to learn more about these other states. But yeah, it might be totally different. As the Amazon forest actually expands, right? It goes to other countries as well. Uh, but I think a big part of it is in Brazil. I told you guys the other time that our army is specialized in forest operations, so they're really good at it. I don't know this guy, Lost Leblanc. Is he French? Yeah, I don't know. Look, for you to say it's the most dangerous party, that means a lot of people lose their lives, they're robbed all the time. If this were so, why would still foreigners keep coming here for carnival? You know? Then again, guys, there are some stupid people everywhere. I've been to many carnivals, thank God nothing happened, even with Manu and Tali. So I would never take the two most precious people in my life to run the risk of suffering any kind of problem. So maybe it depends on the way that he behaved, the places where he visited. So coming here without having no information, I think it's not good. You need to know where you're going. You need to know what you're gonna do. You need to know the things that you're gonna take with you. So very important. Guys, 1 second here. 1 second, because my wife is sending like 1,000 messages here. Hope everything's okay. Oh, no, I didn't know that the ozone layer is on top of Australia. Hey guys, I'm gonna have to cut the live short. We've been here for a little more than 1 hour, but my wife needs a help with her studio. Apparently I need to... Yeah, guys, I have to go. Because another person that works with my wife there needs to attend to a client and she doesn't have the key. So thank you very much. I'm sorry to cut that short. The conversation was so good. I would stay with you 1 or 2 more hours, but I really have to go help her. This is on her, okay? So please send a message to Tali and say, come on, you cut our live short. So thank you very much, okay, for each and every one of you. We'll be back here on Friday at 6:30 Brasilia time. May God allow we stay longer than just 1 hour. I was prepared to be here with you for 2 or 3 hours, but I understand, okay? Tali needs my help and I need to go. Thank you very much. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and watch the video I posted, please. I just posted a video about a very nice property. If you guys have $4 million, it can be yours. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.